live, and Facebook should be next. Okay, we're doing it right now. What's your live video about, you say? We are talking Facebook and marketing trends. So, in case you didn't know why you're joining me here live, whether you're on YouTube or Instagram and getting ready to be Facebook, we are going to be talking about 5 trends that you, as a horse business owner, here we go. Save that. Oh my goodness gracious. There we go. Okay, lovely. Okay, great. Sorry, Facebook has all these tips for me. Okay, and I would not like to start screen share yet. Maybe it will let me. Maybe it will decide that I can. Okay, friends, hello and welcome everybody. I believe we are live. Oh, there it goes. Now I think we're live in all the places. I'm so sorry, Instagram friends. You guys were the first. Instagram makes it the simplest and easiest to go live, right? But let's see. You are remembering on Facebook, remove and unpin an old comment on there. So I apologize. Okay, so we are in all the places. So let me move this screen over here. Maybe if it wants to let me. We are in all the places. I was trying to move it over so I can see straight at you guys and see the comments, but I'm going to have to look to the left to see that. Okay, so hey, friends. I'm so glad you are here. It's so funny. You can do all the things to prepare, and then you get on there, and it doesn't always work as you prepared and tested. So let that be an encouragement to you, whether you are hanging out on Facebook or Instagram. Just do the thing. I'm always talking about taking messy action, and if you know me, you know I'm a perfectionist, and I'm like, oh, this is really annoying that this isn't doing what I wanted it to do. But it's okay because we're live. That's the important part. And you guys are here. So jump into the comments. I am going to do my very best to pay attention on Facebook and on Instagram so that I don't miss your comments. So I would love to hear from you. What I was saying earlier as we began is that I created slides that I wanted to share with you live. I was all prepared to do that, and Zoom is giving me an error message this morning for that ability. So what I need to do actually is quit Zoom, and that way, oh, you know what? Actually, I have an idea. I have a solution. I think we're going to try. I'm going to record it on Zoom with the slides. So if you want the slides on the replay, what I'm going to do is on the replay page, which will be stormlily.com/trends, just like it was to find out the information about this class. What I'm going to do is put the replay on that page with the slides. So if you want to, anyone who's catching the replay, you're going to get the slides, and that way, anybody who wants to watch it later, I'll also put them on there as a PDF. So I want to make sure you have all the things to be successful. Okay. All right. So I apologize about that, but of course, my goal is to make sure you guys have what you need to succeed. And so I think the slides will be helpful because we all are different kinds of learners, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and let me share this real quick on Zoom so that it will record. And then we'll be all set, and I will jump in, okay? All right, so bear with me just a moment, and then we'll be all good. All right, Zoom, do the thing for me, please. That would be lovely. Let's do advanced and portion. Screen. I'm sorry, friends. I appreciate your patience. This is not my preference. Of course, my preference would be that everything would work just like it's supposed to, right? But that is not always the case. So, what are we doing here? Share a portion and come on. No, friends. All right, let's do this. specific window. That's the one we want. Okay, great. Okay, there. Okay, lovely. Okay. All right. I'm so sorry, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. No, what I wish that you were seeing is my slides, but that's okay. So we're going to dive into 5 marketing trends for your equine business. All right. So I'm super glad we're here. I will do a quick introduction. But first, I want you to know what you're going to learn, what you're going to walk away with today. So you are going to learn what is new in the world of marketing, the best way for you to evaluate if a trend will work for you, and what every equine entrepreneur needs to do in 2023 to experience success. Now, let me back up just a bit. We're talking about 5 trends, okay? So let me just give you a heads up there that you are not going to be getting the full list of the 90 things that you need to do, right? This is not a, as I was preparing, there are like the 30 things you need to know just about social media, right? There's the 30 things you need to know about website design. What I've done is try to dissolve all that information down into 5 things for you guys, okay? So please know that this is not an exhaustive list, but it is the 5 things that keeping you all equestrian entrepreneurs in mind that I believe that you're going to need and want to know in 2023, okay? And then I'm going to help you figure out if that will work for your business, and then what you all need to be doing regardless of your business and regardless of which trend resonates with you. Okay. Now, I always have notes, and you would see this slide that would say turn off distractions. And of course, I know I am the worst / best, right, when it comes to multitasking. So I get it. I'm a total multitasker. Here's what I would say. I practiced this presentation for you. I know that it is less than an hour, and I know that it's packed with information that is going to help you in your business. So as much as you can, tune in, pay attention, know that, excuse me, know that the slides will be available to you as a part of the replay. And so if you want to take notes, you can. If you want to just pay attention and get the slides, do that too, okay? All right, so I have a question for you guys. I, of course, told you, let me know in the comments when you're here. Tell me a little bit about you and your business, because I love to hear those things. But I have a specific question for you, okay? What I want to know is, which type of marketer are you? I'm going to give you 3 choices, and you're just going to put into the chat or the comments 1, 2, or 3, okay? Now, before I do this, I can already hear some of you saying, Denise, I'm not a marketer. That's why I'm here. And let me just tell you, as a business owner, marketing is one of the hats that you are going to need to wear to build the business that you want. So I'm going to call you a marketer, and just go ahead and wear that hat for a moment, okay? So let me know, are you, first, what I would call a dreamer without a map? Meaning you are the entrepreneur who is full of ideas. You maybe even have a direction of where you are going, but you really have no clue how to get from A to B and what that looks like. So that is number 1, okay? So I'm a dreamer. I've got the big dream. I have no clue how to get there and how to make it work when it comes to marketing. Okay, number 2, are you seeking simplicity? So are you the person who has dipped your toe into marketing? You've maybe even created a profile on all the different platforms, and yet it is overwhelming. You're not sure what to do. You're having a hard time keeping up with the trends, right? And you would just love a simpler way of doing things that is really going to help you meet your goals. So that would be number 2. So if that's you, put that in the 2, or put 2 in the comments. All right, number 3, are you a master marketer? Are you here because you actually do love marketing and you just want to see what I have to say, and then you're going to take it and immediately take action because you already have a plan, you have a strategy in place, and you're rearing and ready to go for 2023. So let me know if that's you in the comments. Are you a 1 or a 2 or a 3? All right, I see a 1 there. I see you. I see a 2. Hey, Ann, good to see you. And I see a 3. So I'm seeing all the things. So that's good. I'm super, super glad you guys are all here, because I have something that I hope and believe will be helpful to you regardless if you're a 1, a 2, or a 3. So before we dive in, I do have a quick introduction just in case we happen to be new friends. And if we are, hey, I'm so good to meet you. I'm so glad to meet you. And I'm glad that you're here. As you may know by now, my name is Denise Alvarez, and I have two ways that you have probably made your way here. One is my business, Storm Lily Marketing, where I get to help horse business owners and equestrian entrepreneurs really clarify their messaging and their marketing to help them create the business that they dream of. And I do that through one-on-one coaching, as well as group coaching and websites and copywriting. So that's my one-on-one services, and that's what I do there. And then I also have the podcast. So you may have come here by way of the podcast and not even known I was on social or connected on social until now, but we've been friends that way. So I have the How to Market Your Horse Business podcast, where I share practical and helpful guidance, again, for equestrian entrepreneurs to help you in your marketing journey. So those are the two main ways that you've probably made your way here. And those are the two main ways that I am serving the equestrian community right now. And of course, you may have made your way here because somebody shared it with you. And I hope that's the case. I hope we're new friends. So I want to make sure that you know first, why am I even here? And why am I teaching these things to you? So why am I here as a horse person? I grew up on the back of a horse, like many of you did. On the back of a pony, actually. When you catch the replay, you will see on the slides me as a little girl riding our pony Coco, which many of you are probably familiar with, was a quite stubborn pony, but great for learning on. I have plenty of stories to tell about him, as I'm sure many of you do as well, growing up with horses. But you may also be like me, and you may be getting into horses again as an adult or for the first time as an adult. So while I grew up with horses, once I reached those later teenage years and went off to college and entered adulthood, it just looked very different. And I wasn't as involved as I was growing up. But I say the Lord brought me back into the things that he knew brought me true joy. And I came back around. And now for the past, 7 years, 8 years, something like that, I've definitely been diving back into that. And especially with my business, serving specifically horse business owners. And for the past 2 years, I can't believe it's been 2 years. For the past 2 years, I've actually been taking riding lessons, learning to jump, and it is so much fun. I actually am not confident enough to have a picture of that on the slides, but just know that it is fulfilling a childhood dream. I tell my riding instructor all the time that she is really helping me to do something I've always dreamed of. It brings me so much joy. And I love it. And so that's a bit about myself. And the reason I tell you those things is because as I dive in, I always think it's important to know who it is you're learning from so that you know why am I here to share these things with you? Why am I the expert, so to speak, right? Why am I teaching these things? So I've been involved in marketing pretty much since I graduated college almost 20 years ago, which is really crazy to say. And so that's where that expertise comes in. And then being involved in the horse industry, I understand you guys, and I get that it's a different thing, right? I talk to so many people who say it's very different. And so I'm so glad you're specializing in horse businesses because it's a different market, it's a different audience, and it's important to understand that. All right, so a couple of things before we get into the marketing trends that I think are super important for us to understand as business owners. The first thing, this quote you will know, it says, the only thing constant is change. It's by a Greek philosopher named, I probably will butcher it. You can see it on the slides. But here's the thing. We're talking about trends today because I do believe it's important to know what's going on in the realm of marketing. If you want to be authentic, if you want to connect with people where they are, then trends is going to help you to know that. But I want you to also know that trends are trends for a reason because they change over time. What I teach you today in 6 months is not going to be completely irrelevant because I didn't pick like the hot trends that are here today, gone tomorrow. But just know that if that's you, if you love to chase those things, then just pay attention because those things are going to change. All right. So we're talking about trends that know that the only thing constant is change. So these trends will likely change over time. All right. Secondly, this time together, this training I've created is honestly, and I hinted to this a bit ago, it is not for shiny object chasers. Meaning, if you are trying to chase the latest trends to market your business, because you are really not sure what to do. So I'm not judging. If you're like, I don't know what to do, so I see what they're doing and I do that. And then I see what they're doing and I try that. I'm just telling you that's not what's going to help you long term. Now, it's really going to probably honestly lead you to burnout. It's going to diminish your potential for long-term gains in your business. So yes, do I think it's important to pay attention to trends? Absolutely. Do I think that you need to have a filter when you do that? Yes. So that is why I want to remind you before we even jump in to keep these two things top of mind. And if we're email friends, it's not going to be new to you, because I talked about it last week when I was sharing about this trends training. And that is, first of all, I want you to know your strategy. So essentially, this is your filter, right? As you dive in and see what's going on in the world of marketing, when you have an idea of your marketing strategy, then you're going to know and you're going to be able to see, like, does this fit into the people that I serve? Is this where my people are? Is this what they're responding to? Is this going to help get me to my long-term goals, right? So you need to have a strategy in place. What does your website and your social media actually have to do? How are they playing well together? And how are they working to actually turn your visitors and your followers into your customers? That, my friends, is your marketing strategy. And that is not going to change immediately overnight based on trends, okay? Next, I want you to honor your capacity. Now, this is something that I have definitely been learning a lot of in this past year. And just the fact that I need to not only do that, but also how I had not done that. And I would maybe beat myself up because I felt like I needed to be doing all the things, right? Again, I shared with you, if you're email friends with me, then I shared, I'm not on TikTok right now. And I'm a marketer. I'm in the marketing world. I dive into it. I read all the things, right? And I want to know all the things. And I want to be able to equip and educate people that come to me. So I will get educated about something, but that doesn't mean I'm going to automatically turn and do it for myself or for my business, because I need to honor my capacity and what's possible right now and what I know my people, you all, are going to react to, what's going to actually turn you into my customers. And then I want to do that and do that well. So versus being on TikTok, I have put a lot of time and effort into my podcast, and I've made a lot of great connections and clients through that. So the same for you. It may be that you're in a season of life where you have young kids at home. I do. And so that also changes what my capacity is. The amount of animals that you're caring for, the amount of lesson students that you have or training courses that you have in your program, all of these things are going to impact your capacity. And so I want to make sure that you are honoring your capacity as we dive into these trends, okay? All right, so that being said, we're going to dive in, okay? We are going to dive in. I want to hear from you as I'm starting to talk what things are resonating with you. And then as I share, so one of the things, backing up just a bit, one of the things on the slides that I kind of skipped over because I wanted to jump into the trends because I'm excited. But one of the things for me, knowing my capacity and knowing my strategy, is Storm Lily Marketing. And many of you have heard about this, eventually is going to fund Storm Lily Ranch. And so that's definitely a part of my strategy as I create products, as I, outline my year and my marketing strategy and look at my capacity. And so what I would love to hear from you guys, so that's one of my big dreams, right? That's one of my big dreams that I'm actively working towards. So in the comments on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you are, I would love to hear from you. What are the dreams that you have for your horse business? All right, so drop it in the comments. And as I jump into these trends, I want to give you guys a few minutes to let me know, when it comes to your business, what's one of your big dreams, like one of your big goals, your big aspirations that you keep in mind as you are looking at trends and as you're creating your strategy. You're like, this is what I'm working towards. I know if this is a fit for me because I know if it's going to help me meet my goals or not, right? So drop that in the comments. I would love to hear that from you. And then we're going to dive in. All right. We are going to dive in straight to social media. Okay. So what is this social media? Actually, while you guys type that, I'm going to get a quick drink. Okay, what is the social media trend that you as an equestrian entrepreneur should be paying attention to in 2023? Okay, so that's the question as we dive into each of these trends that I kept in mind, right? I'm keeping you in mind, not just what's hot, not just what is that company that has, a plethora of digital marketers doing, but what does the equestrian entrepreneur need to know? And I hinted at this a few minutes ago, but newsflash, TikTok is not a trend on social media. Here's what I mean. Well, actually, first of all, did you know TikTok would not say it's a social media app? They call themselves an entertainment app. But in the world of social media marketing, we have considered them a player, right? But here's the thing. TikTok is actually not the trend. It's the short form videos that have become the trend. Meaning on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, right? On LinkedIn, there are ways to have short form videos. And they very much, yes, happened because of the success of TikTok and people enjoying those. But that's the trend, not TikTok, okay? So my trend for you in social media is short form videos, meaning you are going to go where your people are and you're going to start posting short form videos where they are. So maybe that for you is Reels. Maybe that for you is stories or a combination thereof, right? You can absolutely and should do a combination of those things. Maybe it is going to be, maybe it's going to be TikTok for you. Honestly, if you're like, Denise, that's where my people are, I know it, then go there and enjoy it. And we're going to be talking about TikTok actually inside of Social Strides soon. I'm going to be inviting somebody in that is doing that well for that exact reason, right? Because there are people that are using it well and that are seeing success there. So if that's TikTok for you, then do TikTok. But just know that the trend as far as social media goes is short form videos, okay? And so you can do that no matter what platform you are on and where your people are. Now, let me just tell you, as a whole, videos are not going to go away, right? So for a while in the world of marketing, we have been hearing video is where it's at, right? Video is where it's at. You got to be doing video. And I know that for many of you, you're going, oh man, video, that's scary. I could never show up on live. I could never put my face out there. I don't like the way I sound, right? All of those things. And I get it. But let me just encourage you that this is one of those trends that there are millions of, okay, sure, not millions. There are plenty of ways that you can use video in your marketing, okay? So, of course, YouTube, and when it comes to horse businesses, YouTube is definitely still a huge player there. Doing live videos is a great way for you to incorporate into your marketing this year. And then doing longer videos and repurposing your video content to build those connections with people over time, right? Because what we often think is that if I post a video one time or I do one live, all my followers have seen that and now I can never reuse it. But that's not true because organically, absolutely, all of your followers have not seen your content. So repurpose those videos, do longer form videos and repurpose them to be short form, okay? So absolutely include videos in your marketing, in your social media marketing, especially this year, okay? Now, again, if you guys have questions as we go along, please feel free to drop those in the comments. I am looking back and forth because I am watching comments in all the places. So please know if you have questions about that, then let me know. And I'm loving, by the way, seeing your dreams and your goals for your business. So I see that you're wanting to take your business full time. I see on YouTube somebody that is wanting to grow. Katie, you're wanting to grow your boarding facility and improve your barn. I love that. Oh, and start your horse therapy company. I love that as well. So I'm loving seeing what y'all's goals are and getting to help you move towards that. That's super exciting to me. All right, so that's social media. If you have questions about that, let me know. We are going to move on to the next trend, which is websites. Okay, so what is the website trend that you as an equestrian entrepreneur should be paying attention to in 2023? And that is your user experience. Now, let me explain, because I know that's kind of a vague trend, but I saw it in multiple places when it comes to websites, that the idea of user engagement, controlling your experience as a user. So you may have seen this on some websites where you can turn it to dark mode and light mode. That's considered controlling your user experience, taking people on a very clear path where they can select where they want to go. That is part of the user experience. So really using your website as a way to, we've talked about this on the podcast, take them on a journey and build that connection, right? So that they will become your customers. But here's the thing. If they do not have a good experience on your website, then you're giving them a very good taste of what it's going to be like to work with you. And that may or may not be true. Like, it may be wonderful to work with you, but you just hate tech and you haven't touched your website in years, or you've had a hard time finding somebody that you trust. Whatever the case may be, your website just may not be accurately representing what it's like to work with you, right? So the trend for websites that you're going to pay attention to is really going back and looking at your user experience. Now, we're going to break this down and look at all three: SEO, design, and copy when it comes to your website. But just remember, if your people are landing on your website and they cannot find what they need, they cannot find how to even work with you, then they're going to just move on. Okay. So this stuff really, really matters. One of my clients the other day actually told me she thinks of her website as her assistant. She's like, honestly, so many people go to the website and they're submitting inquiry forms, and I'm getting information about them before I even have that conversation with them on the phone. It is so helpful. And so I think of my website as my assistant, and I want to invest in that because I've seen how it has helped grow my business. So I thought that's a really good way to think about it. All right, so let's look at user experience and what that looks like for SEO, design, and copy. And don't worry, I'll break down each of those terms, okay? Design's pretty obvious. But many of you may be saying, Denise, what in the world is SEO? So SEO stands for search engine optimization. And basically, it is how you and your website are found online. So when somebody goes to search for you, whether it's on Google or Bing or Ask or Safari, all the things, right? When they go to search for you, SEO is all the different pieces that are educating that search algorithm about who should show up in the results. And you want to optimize your website to be found, right? When people search for you for the right thing, which is what we're going to talk about. So when it comes to Google specifically, they are, of course, the authority right now when it comes to search engine optimization. And when they make changes, everybody moves, right? So Google has actually updated in the past few years, because what it used to be, and what I still hear oftentimes from clients that come in asking questions, is, do I need to have all these keywords on my website 1,000 times, right? Here's an example for you that I'm sure you can resonate with. I don't know if you go to Pinterest very often, but if you go to Pinterest to look for a recipe, and then you're like, yeah, that sounds good, I'll visit that site. It takes forever to scroll down and get to the actual recipe, right? And here's the reason for that. They were using keywords and keyword stuffing, honestly, to try to get found for that particular search term. So for example, if you wanted to make chicken noodle soup and you Googled chicken noodle soup recipe, they wanted to be found. So therefore, all throughout the page, it's, I love to make chicken noodle soup. This is my favorite chicken noodle soup recipe. Do you have a favorite chicken noodle soup recipe? Here, scroll down below. Here are pictures of my chicken noodle soup, right? See what I'm doing? They use it 1,000 times. And the reason they were doing that is because originally that was really how the algorithm was working. It was just looking for those keywords and it would show you who had the most keywords. But artificial intelligence has gotten smarter, right? And so it knows better than to just find the page that's saying it 1,000 times. Instead, it's looking at, do you have expertise? Do you have authority? Do you have trust? And now it's looking at, do you have experience in these things? And you might be thinking, how in the world does Google know that? Well, they're paying very close attention to users' experience on their website, on your website. So they're paying attention to how people are moving around on your website. Are they landing there and immediately going away? then that might make people think, well, they landed there for the search result, but it obviously didn't have what they wanted. So that's not going to be a positive thing in their eyes. But if people are finding you based on search terms that you have authority in, they're probably going to stick around on your website for a little bit, and they're going to notice that. The search engine is going to notice that. And this idea of experience is what's brand new. And they're now going to consider if you have experience in the realm of what you're talking about. So what does that mean? How can they know? Well, the example that I have for you would be you're a horse business, and we just talked about recipes, right? Say that you're doing keyword research and you see, oh, a ton of people are looking for chicken noodle soup. I'm going to put that on my website, and then I'll be in the search results, and then people will find me, which of course we know would not fall in line with strategy, okay? But people were doing it, right? So instead of really creating content around what they know and have experience around, there were businesses that were creating content that was just getting them website visits. And so Google says, look, we're going to look to see if what you have and what you're resulting in the search results is actually similar to the content you already have. So if you have chicken noodle soup recipes, are you already talking about food? Are you already talking about cooking? Or are you talking about horses and training and tack and all of these things, and they don't go together? You obviously don't have experience in that, okay? So that's what that means. That's what that looks like when it comes to optimizing your website for user experience and SEO. It's getting smarter and smarter. So again, it just wants you to really pay attention to serving your people well, okay? Next, we have design. So what does that look like for your website to have a great user experience when it comes to design? Well, the trend this year, now let me back up. Actually, if you really care about design trends, what I saw by and large was Y2K design is coming back. So if you're looking overall at trends, but here's what I would say. Just because something is a trend, as we talked about with your strategy and your people, right? It's a Y2K design. And if you're curious about that, you can look it up, but it's very, some of it's like pixely and computerized and clean and simple. It's very interesting. But here's the thing. If you go to somebody who's like, oh, this is the biggest trend in website design right now, you should do that. If you are not saying, look, I know my people, I know what they resonate with. Yeah, I want it to be clean. I want it to be easy to read, but I don't need it to be trendy where I have to turn around and redesign my website next year. So we're talking about design, not from a perspective of that, but overall, okay? So overall website design is going to be lightweight because the faster it loads, the better. And again, the easier it is for your user to get around, the better, okay? You want them to be able to easily make a buying decision. And so that is where that comes into play, all right? And then content and copy. Delea, I see your question, and so I am noting that, and I'll answer it in just a few minutes, okay? Just so you know. And I know, obviously, you're not over there. You're right in front of me, but my screen has the comments. All right, so let's talk about user experience when it comes to your website and the copy. All right, so Denise, we talked about SEO. I know what that is now. What's copy? All right. Copy is literally the words on your website, okay? So all those words matter. When you hear copywriting, it's literally writing the words for your website. Now, it can mean other things, but we're focusing on website right now, okay? So how do you keep your user experience in mind? First of all, you've heard me talk about this on the podcast. A very quick tip for you is to use the word you more than you use the word I or I am, okay? In all the I things that go with it, okay? The more you talk about yourself, the less your visitor is seeing themselves, okay? You want to really talk to them. And that's just marketing, plain and simple, okay? But as far as trends go and user experience, have fun with it. Don't be afraid to do that. And at the same time, don't be so clever with your copy that people don't know where to go, okay? So, you don't have to have a boring website for it to be effective, but you do need to have a clear website for it to be effective. Okay, so that, friends, is website. Now, I will quickly back up to Delea's question where she asked about video shorts for social media, right? So we were talking about video shorts. Now, actually, I'm going to do a quick YouTube shorts length? What is the length? Because shorts, so I don't know if you're talking to Leah about YouTube. YouTube shorts are their short form videos. And right now it's 60 seconds. I had to Google it because I tell you what, as soon as I say something, it will change. So it's 60 seconds right now, right? And I think Instagram stories, they actually went up to a minute on theirs. Reels, I can't remember because they changed their length again. And so I know as soon as I say it, I'll get that wrong. But here's what I would say. You're asking for the best time length. And it's a great question. And I would encourage you to test it in terms of when you go to Reels, like I will tell you in the past 6 months, the trend that you would see is that a Reel should be 8 seconds. It needs to be quick and easy because that's the way people, what the reasoning was, that's what people are doing on TikTok. And so that needs to happen on Instagram. But I have seen multiple Instagram Reels that are longer, a little bit more in depth and meaty, so to speak, that have gotten really good traction and engagement. We can back up and talk about strategy there, okay? So the best time length is the one that helps you connect with your customers and get them to take action. So if you're creating Reels and you're getting thousands of views, but you're seeing no fruit from that, your content may not be asking them to ever take action. So that may be part of it. But also don't get so excited about the thousands of views if you don't ever see traction, if you're not getting new followers that are the right people, new comments, new engagement. There are many ways you can measure that. But I love your question because it's great for us to be cognizant of what, generally speaking, is a good time length. And then it's also really great to test that. Try a minute, try 8 seconds, try 30 seconds, and don't think that you have to do it just one way. Okay. But I love that question. I appreciate you asking it. It's a very good question. I'm trying to check, make sure I don't miss any over here. Okay. So if you have other questions, let me know. Okay. We are going to move on. Oh, no, we're not. We're not moving on because we're still talking websites, but I have one more thing for you. So this one is not a trend, but I felt like it was so important. We needed to address it. And that is the mobile version of your website. Notice I'm not saying mobile responsiveness. So back in the day, it could just be responsive, meaning it would just shrink, right? But people are on their phones so much more now. At least half of your website traffic is more than likely happening on someone's phone. Now, that's a stat that is true regardless of what general statistics you look at. But you, of course, need to look at your own website and your own statistics. So it may not be true for you, but generally speaking, more than half of people that are visiting websites right now are doing it on their mobile phone. So I would say take out your phone, but many of you are probably watching this on your phone. But when we are finished, I want you to take out your phone. And if you can, do it. Go to your website and see how it's looking. Because when it comes to user experience, that's not a trend for websites. Mobile is not a trend, but it's extremely important, okay? And so often when we're going to look at something, we go and look on our desktop. Now, I will say, I definitely have clients who have said, Denise, I'm looking at you on my phone because I never open my computer. I know that there are definitely people that are doing that, so I get that. But at the same time, when you have someone design your website, you are probably going to look at it on your computer, right? But I want to make sure that you are looking at it on your mobile phone as well. And if you haven't done that in 6 months to a year, because you just never go to your website anymore, pull out your phone, go and look at it. And I would love to actually hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments, what is your website like on mobile? Do you know? If you don't know, put in the comments, I don't know. I haven't visited my website in months. I just hope it's still working. Or you can say, yep, I'm good. That's something I care about. That's something I've done. But that's not a trend, but it is a very important thing for you to pay attention to in 2023. As you up-level your marketing, your website will get more hits, and you want to be prepared for that, okay? So let me know in the comments as we move on, what's your website like on mobile? All right, now for real, we are moving on to the next trend, which is email marketing. So if we've been friends for a while, you know that I am a big fan of email marketing regardless of the area of the equine business that you are in and regardless of the size of business that you have, because it's totally possible and doable for a one-person show to have a solid email marketing strategy. Okay. I'm not saying it has to be a weekly newsletter. I know people who are doing it monthly and experiencing great success, but staying in touch with your people via email is invaluable. Okay. But I won't get on that soapbox right now. We're going to talk about trends. So, what is the email marketing trend that you, as an equestrian entrepreneur, should be paying attention to this year? And that is the rise of segmentation. What do I mean by that? Literally segmenting your list, getting to know the people and the preferences of your email list. What do they want? What do they want from you? What interests them? What problems do they have? What purchases have they made? These are all ways that you can segment your email list. And the reason is email marketing, as I have said before, is not going away. However, people do continue to sign up for a new email list. And so they're continuing to filter, is this helpful to me or not? And the more that you can personalize the content in your emails, the more you're going to see those gains from email marketing, okay? So what does that look like? How do you segment your list? One way that you can do in pretty much any email platform that you are using, email marketing platform you're using, is to ask questions inside your emails and then tag your contacts based on what they clicked. Okay. I'm trying to say this super clearly, especially since I know if you're live, you're not following along on a slide. So asking questions and using tags. Okay. And then when you do that, you can actually send an email to the group of people that clicked on one certain answer. So for example, what do you want to learn more of in 2023 from me on you, right? Say you're on YouTube. Hey, I love serving you. I'm going to put more stuff out there that really is helping you. What do you want to hear from me this year? Do you want to learn about horse health and nutrition? Do you want to learn about how I train my horses at Liberty? Do you want to learn about my barn and go behind the scenes? And you have those three questions in your email, and then they click. And then when they click, you might be thinking, okay, what does it go to, right? So you're just going to create a simple page on your website that says, okay, thanks so much for your feedback. I can't wait to serve you this year. Whatever. Super simple confirmation page. All three clicks lead to the same page. But what happens in your email service provider is when that contact clicks one of those answers, they get tagged so that you know what they answered. And then when you create a video that is specific to horse health and nutrition, you have a list of people that you're going to email immediately and say, hey, you said you wanted to know more about this, so you're the first to know. Here you go. Okay. Or when you have a product that you create, right? It's the same thing. Tracking your purchases, making suggestions based on what they've purchased. You can connect your e-commerce platform to your email service provider, and you can do it that way. But the trend that I want you to pay attention to is to take advantage of the automation tools and the tagging features that are available to you inside of your email service provider. Okay. All right. If you have questions about that, I would love to know. Again, please feel free to drop them in the comments. Before we move to the next one, I'm going to take a quick drink. Okay. So that is email marketing. 3 down, 2 to go. All right, the next trend that I have for you is in the world of copywriting. So we talked about copywriting just in terms of websites, but as a whole, there is a major trend happening in the world of copywriting that we had to talk about, right? That we just had to talk about. When you hear it, you're going to be like, oh, wow, yeah, I can see how that's a huge one, okay? So first of all, some of you may be saying, Denise, I don't do copywriting. Remember, I'm not a marketer, right? But here's the thing. You're writing your social media post, right? You're writing sometimes what's on your website. You're writing marketing emails if you're sending out emails, okay? You're writing blog posts. Many of you are writing descriptions for YouTube videos. All of those things are copywriting, okay? So you are copywriting, you just didn't know it. So what's the trend that you need to know about? Artificial intelligence has entered the room officially, right? I'm sure it's been there for a while. It's officially entered the room in the past few months, and it is a buzz in the world of copywriting. Now, I will not try to get into the very technical details of what all of this means and how it works. What I will tell you is that there are tools out there now that claim to be a what's the word? A machine, essentially, that's copywriting for you. So you put in a prompt. I need a blog post on 3 ways to clean tack, right? The 3 steps to cleaning tack. And then it can shoot out a blog post for you. That's the promise, okay? So of course, people are going, oh my goodness, I'm a copywriter. This is gonna, really mess things up. And it could potentially help you in some way, but we're gonna talk about what this really looks like and I will give you a link that you'll see on the slides. But first, I want to hear from you if you guys have heard of this. So it's actually called Chat GPT. That's the open software. So it's called open because many people can access it. So that's why you're seeing multiple different platforms that are using this same open source software to make these promises that they can write your blog posts for you automatically. They can write your social media posts, write all of these email subject lines, headlines, all these things. So is this news to you? Are you guys like, okay, what in the world? I haven't heard this. Or you have been hearing about this before? Because again, I know that I stick my head out for marketing a lot and read all the marketing articles, and you guys may not be doing that. So I would love to know if this is something new to you. Okay, Barbara, awesome. You're saying that you have seen that. Very good. Okay, so if you guys on Instagram want to chime in too, let me know. I know that Carrie on Instagram, I have shared her stuff before. She's very, very much the person to follow if you care about Instagram trends and what's hot right now. And she did a post, Equestrian Marketing Coach, by the way, is hers. She did a post testing this theory, right? And saying this post was completely created. And you're saying yes, but you're unconvinced it understands our horse world and terminology. And you're spot on. You're absolutely right. And we will talk about that. So it's horse world and other, because it's not a human, right? So we'll talk about it's not the human factor. And then of course, yes, in the horse world, there are even deeper things that you need to be able to understand. So I want to show you this. Well, I will read it to you since we are live. But if you go look at the slides, you will see somebody actually did ask ChatGPT the question, will ChatGPT replace copywriters? And I want to read this to you because it's a thorough answer. And this is literally from the system itself. So this person typed in the prompt, will ChatGPT replace copywriters? And this is what was said back, okay? It is unlikely that ChatGPT or any other language model will replace copywriters anytime in the near future. While ChatGPT and other language models are capable of generating responses to questions and comments in a variety of different contexts, they are not yet advanced enough to fully replace the creativity, originality, and unique perspective that a human copywriter brings to their work. Additionally, writing for marketing and advertising purposes often requires a deep understanding of the target audience and a strong ability to persuade, which are skills that are difficult for a language model to replicate. So, and you're spot on, and even the machine agrees, right? It is not going to replace. There are too many nuances when it comes to copy. There's just so many things. And it said it so well, the creativity, the originality. Somebody was talking about how it doesn't of course, it's a machine. It does not understand humor. And then you add the equine, the horse aspect as well. And absolutely. So why am I bringing it up to you as a trend? Well, to be honest, it can really be a helpful tool, but it's just a tool. It is not a replacement for actually doing the work and getting to know your people, knowing and understanding what you're an expert at. So how can you use copywriting and artificial intelligence together? Honestly, it is a starting point. It is a good idea to go there when you're just stuck, right? You need to just type in a few words and see what ideas come back at you, and then you can take it and run with it. So ideation is a great way to look at ChatGPT. You can look at it as a subject line starter. So often when you're writing an email by yourself and you're trying to write that subject line that it matters, is going to help people open their emails if you get it right, but you feel stuck, this could be a way that you can just get some starter points and help you to get outside your box a little bit. And the same when you're looking at your website and writing headlines, right? Or even for your marketing, your print materials. So it's a great way to just get another perspective, to get you outside of your head a little bit, to just play with words. Sometimes if you don't have somebody to bounce things off of, as entrepreneur, that often means solopreneur, right? Not always, but often when you're just starting out. And so you need someone to bounce ideas off of. And so this can be a really great way to do that. All right. Okay, friends, I got one more trend for you, and that is marketing, generally speaking. So I wanted to give you one more, and I wanted it to be able to apply in all the areas. So this last trend that I have for you actually can apply to your social media. It can apply to your email. It can apply to your website and your copywriting. Okay. So what could that be? It is influencer marketing. So I saw this again on many of the articles that I was reading in preparation for today. Yes, we have seen a surge in the past, 5 to 7 years, especially in influencer marketing, where people literally, they are social media influencers and that's their job. My sister was a teacher and she had told me that she was actually regularly having kids that would, when they would talk about writing prompts, what do we want to be when we grow up, right? And she would hear, I want to be a YouTube influencer. I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be, an Instagram influencer, right? So it's become a thing. So I understand that that is not a trend. But here's the trend going into this year that I kept reading. And that is the idea that you don't need or have to work with the large influencers, the people that have hundreds of thousands of followers, as a part of your marketing strategy. Now we have what is called a micro influencer. Now, let me back up just a second in case you're like, okay, Denise, I've heard the word, but I don't really know what that means. What's an influencer? Okay. So I actually read an article a few months back. I think it was Western Horseman, and they had a issue that was dedicated to fashion. And so they interviewed and shared stories from some of the influencers just in the Western world. And so what does that mean? They literally are frankly, they're influencing buying decisions. And so that's why they're called an influencer. And that's why businesses work with them, because they have followers, they have built communities, they have built trust, which we talked about you need to do as a business. They have done that. And so when they share a brand, when they share a clothing item, when they share that they're going somewhere, people pay attention and people buy. And so that's how they've built up their business. But for you, what does that look like? It means you can be working with influencers in your marketing. And that could be for social media. It could be incorporating them on your website to build trust when people land on your website. It could be email marketing where you're telling their story and telling about how you guys are connected. So that's what that can look like for you. It doesn't matter the size of your business. When you work with influencers, it's possible. And so what I was saying about micro influencers is you do not have to feel like you need to have connections with that person that has 1 million followers or 500,000 followers, right? Instead, what we're seeing as businesses actually looking to work with micro influencers, meaning people that have built communities, but maybe it's 2,000, maybe it's 5,000 people, right, that are following them, but they have a high engagement. When they tell somebody to go buy, people actually go buy, right? They've done the work to build up trust. So let me just tell you this. If you're going to look to work with an influencer this year, do not base your decision only on how many followers they have, okay? Take a moment and look at the engagement. Are they getting a lot of comments? So obviously, a lot of people are hiding likes. You cannot see the likes that they have, but you can look at engagement in terms of comments, right? And you can see if people are really engaging with their content or not. And if they are, they may be a really good fit for you if they align with, the strategy that you have for your business this year. So focus on that engagement. Now, where do you start if you're wanting to get into influencer marketing this year? One of the easiest ways is to do an affiliate program where you invite someone to use a special code, which would be a tracking code. So say when they share this code, then their followers get a certain percentage off, right? And then when their followers use that code, on your end who is using whose code, and you can see which influencers are really having an impact. The other thing that, of course, is very popular in the horse world is rider programs and team programs, right? So I think I saw that Hey Chicks was actually just taking applications this past month for their rider and team program this year. So that's another way that influencer marketing works well. So again, go back to your strategy and what's going to get you to where you want to go. But influencer marketing can be a really fun thing for you to do this year. Okay, if you have questions about that, of course, again, I am just peeking at the comments to make sure I have not missed anything. But those are our 5 trends, all right? So I would love to hear from you guys if there are any that surprised you or any that you were hoping to learn more about. You can let me know that in the comments as well. But I want to close out talking about what we talked about before, is do trends really matter? And I told you I was going to share with you the one thing that every equestrian entrepreneur needs to do in 2023 to experience success in your business. And that one thing is consistency. Consistency. Here's why. You can jump on the trend on social media. You can start doing all the reels transitions and do it for 2 weeks because you're on fire and you really are doing it well. But then if you don't post another reel for 3 months, it's not going to work for you. It doesn't matter what trend you try to hang on to if you are not consistent. If you're like, oh, Denise, I want to do this email segmentation thing. That sounds like a really good idea. I'm going to send an email out tomorrow and ask this question. And then you do it, and then you don't send an email for 6 months. That's not going to get you any results either. It's the consistency that you have as a business owner that's going to get you the results that you are after in 2023. Okay? There's this quote that I love. It's actually a Chinese proverb that says, talk doesn't cook rice. And the thing is, you have to take action. Now, you guys are here. So the fact that you are here is absolutely taking action and getting educated about marketing this year. But I also want you to be taking action on the trends that you've learned about and on your strategy and really showing up online so that you can connect with those new customers that are out there for you. Okay? So that is why I also want to invite you guys and let you know that my group coaching program that I briefly shared about in the beginning of our time together is open for enrollment. So it is called Social Stride, and it is specifically created to help equine entrepreneurs like you that want to show up consistently online, that want to do the things, find your new customers, build your business, hit the goals that you all shared about earlier in this year, right? Making it full-time in your business this year, starting your massage therapy business, right? All the goals and the things that you put out there. Social Stride was created to help simplify that process for you and to help simplify marketing for you. So today through January 31, the doors to Social Stride are open, and I would love to invite you in. I will tell you that Rachel, when you go back and see the replay and see the slides, you will see the slide of Rachel, who has been a star student in Social Stride and said that she didn't think her business would be where it is without my guidance. But can I just tell you the truth? She has taken everything she's learned inside of Social Stride since joining, which is almost 2 years now that she's been in there. And she's applied what she's learning. She's doing the work. She is setting up her social media schedule. She is creating content that's engaging. She is building conversation and connection with her audience. And because of that, she is building a business that she really, truly loves and enjoys. And it's that beautiful combination of getting the education and then doing the work. So what's included in Social Stride? Let me just break it down for you really quickly, okay? Included are monthly live classes. So every month inside of our private group, I go live. Oh, let me back that up. Every month on Zoom. Actually, we do it so that you all can meet one another. I go live and I teach on a concept of marketing and break it down for you so that you can take it and apply it in your business immediately. So we have talked about live video strategy and how to create one and what that looks like. We have talked about stories, strategies. We have done website audits. We have done case studies together. But every month I show up live and I am teaching an educational component for you inside the Social Stride. And then you also get tools and templates that are going to help you. We talked about that consistency, right? How do you show up consistently online? Well, one of the things that I often was hearing is, okay, I hear you, Denise, but I don't know what to say. Like, I struggle with what to say when it's time to post. I don't know what to put in the caption. I don't know what to put out there. So your solution is inside of Social Stride, because every month you get 10 templates that you can take and customize for your business and in your voice. So on the first of every month, you get an email and it's a Word document, and you can literally copy and paste, and it's a fill in the blank. I call it like Mad Libs for social media. It's fill in the blank. I make it very easy for you to take that and then create content that's engaging and builds connections. And it helps you to sell. There are posts inside of Social Stride in the templates that are created to help you to sell and to convert clients. Okay. So you also get an equine calendar and then some planning tools. And whenever I'm doing a live lesson, if I'm like, oh, this really should have a tool to go with it, then I create it. Okay. I'm all about equipping. All right. The next thing that you get is group coaching. Now, this is something that if you have heard me talk about Social Stride before, I've not talked about this element as much because I hadn't built it in as a long term. But this year we are really creating an opportunity for you to get coaching inside of Social Stride. So there will be a hot seat, and members can apply to be in the hot seat, and then I will coach you one-on-one right there while you rest of the members are listening in. And the beauty of that is oftentimes the questions that you have are the questions that your fellow members will have also. And so even if you're not in the hot seat, you're going to learn so much just from listening and seeing where that person is and the questions they have, because they probably have many of the same questions that you do. Okay, and then speaking of that, sorry, friends, one of our previous members, India, had shared that was the idea of learning from my coaching was one of the things that she'd appreciated and enjoyed so much. So the coaching is a really big aspect that I'm building more into Social Stride this year. Previously, it's really been about those tools and templates. And yes, I will continue to do those, and I want you to get help with that. But sometimes it's the mindset work. Sometimes it's the clarity that you need before you can take those tools and templates and use them. So that's where the coaching will come in. And then, of course, we have a private community. So you will get to network and meet your fellow equine entrepreneurs in our Facebook group. And inside of the community, we also do quarterly challenges. So we've done Reels challenges, we've done list building challenges, we've done stories challenges. And so the beauty of a challenge is that accountability, right? And when you're doing the challenge with a group of people that have said, hey, I'm investing in my business. This isn't just a free challenge. This is a place where I paid to be here because I really do care about growing the business that I love this year. And so the beauty of that is the accountability is there. And then you're taking action based on that is there as well. And so that is what another one of my members had shared, that she was so thrilled to see the action that she was taking because of our Reels challenge really impacting the growth on her profiles. And it's because she was taking action, and it's because there was accountability. So the question is, who is Social Stride for? Now, previously, I would have told you, it's just for all horse business owners, right? And I have been coaching you all on the podcast, right, to really get clear on who you're for. And this past year, I've really been paying attention to who is in Social Stride, who's making progress as a result of Social Stride, and who is it really a best fit for. So I'll be honest with you, Social Stride is not for all horse business owners. And I'm okay with that, because here's who it is for. Social Stride is for equine entrepreneurs who do want to grow and build a sustainable business. It's not a side gig to you. You really have a dream for it. You have a vision for it, right? Social Stride is for you if you don't want a done-for-you social media service. Those exist, and I cheer for those. I have friends in the industry that are doing that. But for you, you are not at a place where you can pay for done-for-you, or done-for-you is not right for you. You want to write your own post. You just need some help figuring out what to say. You need a leg up with that content, right? And Social Stride is for you if you understand that growth is not going to come without some action, without taking action. we talked about learning today and then doing, right? That is how you're going to grow. And so if you're all about learning and doing, I'm all about inviting you to Social Stride. All right, Social Stride is also for you if you are on board and ready to make 2023 your year. You have goals and you're ready to work towards it, and you want some of that extra accountability. You want the tools and the templates. You're ready to dive in to do what you need to do to build your dream horse business. That is who Social Stride is for. And so if that is you, I would love to invite you. You can just head to stormlily.com/social stride. I will make sure it's in the comments and in the descriptions of all the videos. So it's very easy to get to, but it is easy to get to. Literally stormlily.com/social stride. It will get you there. You can get signed up today. And again, right now through January 31, that is your timeline to get in. Okay. After that, the doors will close and we will be jumping in, and we are jumping right into our first challenge of 2023. And I would love to have you there if that's for you. Now, I want to let you know I did build in some time for questions. And so I did have a couple that came back via email when I had sent an email out yesterday and said, hey, let me know if there's something you want me to cover. So I want to answer those questions. But if you have questions, I would love to answer those for you. So if you have questions about Social Stride, please leave them in the comments. If you have questions about the marketing trends that I shared, leave those as well, and I will answer those as we finish up here today, okay? Now, one of the questions that I received was, how do I actually get my materials? And we did talk about that you're going to get your material through email and through the Facebook group, okay? And then you will get access to replays. That was another question, was, do I get access to replays if I'm not present? And yes, absolutely. Inside the Facebook group will be all the replays. And so actually, if you join now, you can go back and watch past sessions, the live classes from last year. So that's a really huge benefit, okay? So you can go back in there and you can watch past live classes and learn from those. Monthly or annual. So it is actually both. You can choose which one is the best fit for you. So you can choose monthly or annual. When you go to the Social Stride join page, you will fill out that brief form and it'll send you an email and you will say which one you want to pick, monthly or annual, okay? I did have a question that was not Social Stride related that came in, and that was asking about the music that you're using on your reels. So specifically, she was asking about copywriting. So you may have seen, and I see this regularly, somebody will post a reel and it has a label like there's audio, but there's no audio. And what's happening, and what's happened for a while, is copyright issues. And I don't know the ins and outs of how that song made it there. Now, I know there are shortcuts that some people were doing, so that could be it. But I just know that definitely there have been copyright issues with music that is copyrighted. And so Facebook will notice that, or Instagram will catch that, and it will just be muted and not available. And it's not just businesses. I actually saw somebody last night on my personal Facebook feed that had shared something in their stories with the song, and it actually had a note that said this song is muted due to copyright infringement. So what does that mean for you? That means that, oh, I see somebody just joined Social Stride. Woohoo! I'm so excited. I can't wait to meet you. That's fantastic. Okay. Welcome. I'm super excited about that. All right. So, videos. So what does that mean for you? Well, a couple things. If you use a song that has been copyrighted, I don't think Facebook will take this down if I say you're not going to get sued. Like you're doing your best case scenario, or you're doing your best, right? But here's the thing. Just know that could be muted later on, right? Or it could be taken, potentially later on, it could be taken down. So don't think that just because it's on Facebook and just because it's on Instagram, you can use it. It's not exactly a free-for-all. If it's muted later on, it's not the end of the world. Here's the beauty of social media, right? Yes, it lives forever there unless you delete it, but social media is moving so fast that just keep creating content and it'll catch up with itself and it'll be okay. If it's just one and it got muted or the sound went away, yes, it's annoying, But it is what it is. Just keep on taking action and creating that content. Okay. All right. Hey, Marilyn. Okay, I see that you just joined Social Stride as well. Unless you're saying you just joined the live, because I don't think I've seen you commented yet. But maybe it's Social Stride. You'll have to let me know. But if you guys have other questions, let me check on my other two places and make sure if there's a question over here. Barbara, yes, you're welcome. I'm so glad you could join me here. And thank you. Hey, Rachel, I shared your story. So thank you for saying huge raves to Social Stride. I appreciate that. You definitely have been a great example of taking action. And actually, the hot seats that we're going to be doing inside of Social Stride, I used to originally do those in my free Facebook group before Social Stride existed. And Rachel was one of those hot seats. And so it has been so fun to see her take action and really grow her business. So I love it. I'm so grateful. If you have other questions about Social Stride, I'm looking how to watch replays and when will it open again? So here's the thing. I do close the doors on purpose because if any of you have ever launched a program, you know that launching takes work, right? Opening the doors and inviting people in is fun and it takes work. So I want to really take a week to invite all the people in that are the right fit that I can, and then close the door so I can turn around and focus on serving you inside of Social Stride. So I will open the doors briefly again later in the summer and then later in the fall. I don't have those specific dates for you, but I would tell you this, okay? If you're wondering, well, surely she's going to open it again later this year. Maybe I'll just wait. And that's, if you know your strategy, you know your business, okay? I want you to make the right choice for you. But let me tell you this, a question I actually saw just this past week when I was making a decision, and they said, what happens if you don't, right? So what happens if you don't join? What happens if you don't buy that thing, whatever it is, okay? You're probably going to stay the same. You're probably not going to make the changes needed in your business to continue growing, because we all know that if we want to grow, we cannot stay the same. That's not growth, right? So what you're doing in your business has worked to get you to this point, but for the next levels of growth, there are probably some changes that you're going to need to make. And so let me just ask you, if you're contemplating Social Stride and you're saying, Denise, I don't know, I think I'll just wait a few months, let me think about it, then what you're missing out on is that consistency that we talked about that it takes to really see success. You maybe are going to self-commit. I'm going to post, 2 times a week on social media and send 1 email a month, but you haven't committed that out loud to anybody. So you don't have anyone holding you accountable to that, right? And maybe you're super good at keeping your word to yourself and you don't need that. But for most of us, it's that extra accountability that really is going to help us in our business. And especially for equestrian entrepreneurs, because so many of you are doing it solo. Yes, you may have support of family members, but you most likely don't have a full team that you're meeting with on a regular basis, right? And so this becomes your team. This is your cheering section. This is where you're going to get educated and move into the next level that you have for your business, okay? So I would love to have you there. Again, stormlily.com/social stride is the link. I am going to go ahead and jump off because I want to honor everybody's time. And I said it would be right about an hour, and we are there minus the few minutes of getting set up in the very beginning. I so appreciate you guys being here. I hope that you have enjoyed our time together, but more than that, I hope that you've been inspired to take action, because I don't want you to just enjoy it. I want you to actually take action and see benefits and results from that, okay? Thank you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing day. And again, I will have the slides over on the replay page, which is just going to be stormlily.com/trends. Okay. Give me some time to get it downloaded from Zoom and uploaded to the website, but otherwise I will have it there for you. Okay. You guys have an amazing, blessed day. Sorry, I have to go all the